Sante Tarot by Holly Huber and Tracy LeCoco seems to stay true to its claim of accurately and respectfully using the language of the sand paintings to convey a series of messages that directly relate to the categories of a traditional tarot. And in terms of sand painting, of course, we can use all sorts of colored rocks that are crushed towards making these things. I mean, of course, I'm not recommending using gemstones, but the same principle was in play of how they made the stained glass. I mean, the old so-called authentic stained glass. But the sand paintings were more of a temporary thing. Now, they open to the east. They are made by a ha-atatli. And if they don't open to the east, they start the formation of them with an opening to the east. Sometimes this sort of thing was done with pollen or particular wood or, that sort of thing too. And of course, like anything other than a European Christian sort of tarot, the mythology of another culture or another person, in this case, Navajo and, associated groups would be involved here. Now, you're going to see different names for the cards, but it will be self-explanatory. A person might want to carry around the deck with them in a little pouch. Much like, for example, I have a deck here in this pouch with some stones. There is advice in here of how to pray in a Navajo sort of way. We can divide the cards into the outside influences, change or growth, love and goodness, strife or, efforts, political things or worldly interactions. The Windway spread addresses that sort of myth of a hero instructed by, the situation itself and the working it out. The Nightway spread regards multiple experiences and is related to corn. The Blessing spread is, a pathway sort of ritual working of the Ha-Atatli, or led by the Ha-Atatli. The Hailway spread, regards healing, and it involves reference to stuff that was really lost. But do we need to know the formula if the formula is not available? Isn't it better to have faith in the Great Spirit or whatever entities you're working with? Or to, just put your all into it? The Celtic cross can be, of course, interpreted in its traditional Arthur Edward Waite way. We do think of, the Buffalo people and that sort of stuff in regards to that. Now, the listing of Native American terms and the listing of the symbolic elements and what they mean is, of course, as essential as anything to this book. And as you can tell, I haven't been reading off, okay, what are the details of this spread and that sort of thing. I'm just giving an idea of what is in here. The major arcana has its own prayer that there's an example for. The minor arcana, which starts with the rainbows and goes into water and then we have lightning. The court cards are named for thunder. And then we have buffalo. And my drawings are very simplified. But some will read these cards and assimilate the myths thereby. Rainboy is out of his league. Orange Wind Yai is learning the way. Corn Cloud Woman has the ability to perceive and the ability to have an effect with that perception. Mother Earth gives space. Father Sky directs terms. Holy Man must be brought into terms with the other beings. White Corn Man and Yellow Corn Woman. Possess a duality of the seasons. Ba Ganaskity is a traveler and a planter. Monster Slayer dismisses or, cast out what is not part of the system. Brother of Tabash Ischin. The Pollen Boy on the Sun. Of course, since we have a sun card, that's going to be slightly confusing, right? Is about escape. The Whirling Rainbow. Nice little swastika there, of course. People of no form of swastika has some of the meanings that people are going to look at that with. But it relates to the heart of the matter and how there's always a different direction. The Whirling Logs, another swastika design, can be related to the 6th night of a nightway ceremony or a vision seeking. We don't always understand what justice is, right? The Blue Whirlwind Boy. Well, sometimes it's not about the death of whoever, it's about the reaction to them. And in what way are they dead? In what way are they being restored? And then, of course, we have the big endless snake. A lot of cosmic snake myths. We can think of, that stuff in oneself. And, the dangers of tobacco and other drugs can be thought of in terms of that. We have the black yice. I'm not sure if that's the right plural, but that's what they have there. Some unseen beings. And they can be thought of as relating to the stars, too. But there's a harmony that is addressed through them. Okay, the sand dune mountain. You see those things in the mountain. Once you're led astray, are you going to be stuck as a stray? Are you, going to be something else? The red thunder yai is you're trapped in these reactions and experiences. Or are you, right? The big star. Now, I made it simple like that. They really have the star thing and the little, I generally minimize the eyes and stuff like this in my drawings. I just, at least when we're doing these little series here, I'm trying to make things as stripped down to the more basics of the symbols. So the star discovers what sort of person an individual is. I mean, that theme represents that. I'm not necessarily saying that there's a being that you pray to for this and that, the other, but the moon, yeah, some of this you'd have to know that it was the moon, although you can think of that, right? So it shaped quartz, right? And the earth, the moon is thought to be of quartz in this myth. And, what is needed in dealing with the spirits. The sun is like the completion of the rituals. That's what's really meant by talisman. It's not that your faith is in the object, is that the object is made complete by your use of it. The water creatures makes us think of the changes of ages and how, some of us will have to be in a particular place at a particular time. The emergence place is, of course, the white world with the green plants and the red rocks and the blue water and different worlds below, 4 worlds, and it's, we're in the 5th world. And some of these myths, you'll start, okay, you have black and white, then you have red, and then you have, yellow and blue, and then maybe you have red again. And so, instead of kings, we have big. Instead of queens, we have water. Instead of knights or princes, we have fighting. Our Well, we don't always have fighting. That name changes. So and the other, the princess or the page, sometimes we have it as a child. Or, sometimes we have a different name. Now, just like that one book, I don't know why they start with the 10s and then make their way towards the ace. But that's just how things pan out. So yeah, this is Blue Thunder. And this is the warrior. So that's fighting too, and another child. But see, it's either little or child, and it's warrior or fighting. But it was, yeah, as I said, each of these relates to a story. And, I'm trying to have that number, in the small cards are, the numbers of the lightning bolts, are the water jugs, are the little, like, weaving sort of things, but they're like wands. Rainbows and some of the other things exist in different cards, but, in some cultures, lizards mean dreams, but, it varies. And, I should say what there's... So each of the cards, we have a symbology, a suggested interpretation, a reversed meaning, a listing of the guardians, and a myth involved.